platform, and I own several Hermes Essence fragrances. Jean-Claude Helena is my favorite perfumier of all time. And now in 2019, it is with great pride I finally doing my first full-fledged review on an Hermes Essence fragrance. Today, we'll talk about Santal Massoia. You don't want to miss this one. Family, welcome to another Robes 08 fragrance review. Today I'm putting my nose on the house of Hermes and one of their fragrances in their upper echelon brand of Hermes Essence. This one called Santal Massoia. I can't wait to let you guys know about all the details on this particular fragrance. It utilizes two lactones in the fragrance game. Sandalwood, of course, a very milky wood, and of course Massoia bark, which maybe new to your nose. It was to me when I first purchased this back in the day. I was like, what is this? So very interesting, very smooth fragrance. So let's look under the hood of Santal Massoia. I hit the shelves back in 2011. Bottle sizes. The one you see that I have is the 3.3 ounce, but you can double that up and go with a 6.7 ounce bottle. Concentrations are eau de toilette for these Hermes Essence fragrances. Pricing, this one is fairly expensive. All the Hermes Essences are very expensive. They're not available at discounters. Your best bet to really get this on the cheap would have to be in the split or somebody selling a used bottle, but they are retailing at around $260 to $420 USD. So fairly pricey fragrances, and that's why you're not going to see too many fragrance reviews on these Hermes Essences. So I'm very pleased that I can let you guys know a little bit about this fragrance, at least on my end. Group, this is a woody fragrance. Of course, it's based upon sandalwood and Massoia wood. So let's take a look at the notes and the note breakdown. I was scouring online and they were very cheap as far as the note breakdown are letting us know what's in this particular fragrance. Up top, all I got was fruity notes. I'm assuming fig because I get a lot of that. In the mid, they are put in as milk as one of the mid notes or heart notes and floral notes. So very, not much detail here. And in the base, of course, sandalwood. So it's a sandalwood based fragrance. Major notes to my nose, I would have to say sandalwood and Massoia. Now the nose behind this fragrance, of course, my favorite perfumier of all time, Jean-Claude Helena. So how many sprays and wear with Santal Massoia? This fragrance, you'll know, it's a lot of these Hermes Essences. The big gripe about these fragrances, they don't last. Well, if you know about Helena style and as far as price point and lasting power, if you're looking for beast mode for $300 fragrance, you may be looking at the wrong exclusive line. You may be looking at another exclusive line. This is more about the artistic touches of the fragrance more than beast mode performance. Again, this is not a bad performer, but you're going to hear that along the line of Hermes Essence. So how many sprays and where? Now, I always, when I do fragrance reviews, I'm always trying out new things. I have my standard, my 3 sprays, but sometimes I spray more and I see that it works better for me. Sometimes I spray my shirt, sometimes I don't. Sometimes I hit the neck, sometimes I avoid the neck and I just do the arms, depending on the particular fragrance that I'm dealing with. Santal Massoia, I felt like the best way of wearing this fragrance, usually I do, the first spray is always on my chest, not on my shirt, on my chest after a shower. That's my initial spray. It clears up the atomizer too. It's a little trick of the trade. And this is the best place to spray. I do a double spray. Usually I just do one, but I do a double spray with Santal Massoia. Usually I go around the pectoral area and then a little higher around the neck. So I'd go here and then I'd go hit one here, almost at the bottom of the neck right here. If I'm wearing this shirt, this is perfect. This spot right here, perfect. Then 3 on the neck. And you might say, oh, this is going to be overload over here. Don't worry about it. Santal Massoia, very light fragrance. And then 2 on the arms while I got my sleeves rolled up. Inner elbows, one of my favorites to spray for applications. So a little more with this one. 7 sprays I felt was the best for this one. Santal Massoia is the 10th release of the Hermes Essence line from the House of Hermes. If you didn't know, that's their higher end line. I got 6 of them right here. Some of these are some of my favorites of all time. Narguilé, especially since this is my first full-fledged review on an Hermes Essence fragrance. I still got a lot of work in front of me. It did take Monsieur Helena 6 years to complete Santal Massoia, because I would assume the use of the Massoia bar. I gave a lot of you a word of warning about this line in regards to performance. This line, for me, in my experience of this line, it is truly geared for people that absolutely love Hermes fragrances. Of course, since Jean-Claude Helena took, of course, the job at Hermes as their in-house parfumier. But it's also geared for artistic noses that appreciate Helena's work. It isn't for everybody, and I believe not only because of price tag, but I always hear that they don't last, and that's a huge, huge hit on these fragrances. But if you're looking at this brand and this lineup, the Hermes Essence lineup, as only that, you are missing a lot of Helena's best work, and he is, in my opinion, one of the best in the game to do these fragrances. So artistically, you're missing a lot of great fragrances. But I do understand that this line is not for everyone. So keep that in mind when smelling this fragrance. Give it a chance. A lot of these Hermes Essences, a lot of them I just blind bought. Paprika, I blind bought. This one, the vanilla one, I blind bought. I just bought like 3 in an Hermes store, and I just said, take them. That's what you have in stock, I'm taking them. And that's when I was early in my journey. And some of them took a little more time than others, but I definitely appreciated what I was smelling. So let's get into smelling this one, because it's actually really, really good as a sandal-based fragrance. So let's get into the opening. I am wearing this fragrance as my scent of the day today. And oh, this fragrance, you guys got to smell this. Oh, I wish you had smell-o-vision. This is great fragrance. I just wasted like $3 there in sprays. But the opening of Santal Massoia immediately hits you with fruity nuances. Transparency is key here. It's very transparent, as many of Helena's scents are. You may sniff this and say, huh, that's it? Where's the rest of it? Patience, my young pup. This scent will play a great, and I mean not just great, outstanding milky nuances more into this opening and to the heart, and of course to the deeper dry down. So not many scents can pull this kind of scent off. And oh, this is a beauty. So that opening smells eerily figgy to my nose. Green, watery aspects. I mean, really it reminds me of the fig leaves in certain fragrances. And it meets a little bit of the skin of the fruit. It has fruity nuances. Some say it reminds them of another fig in one of Helena's Hermes releases, Un Jardin en Méditerranée, which is a fragrance that I actually don't own. I love figs, I love Helena's fragrances, and I love the Jardin line, so it's kind of weird that I still don't own that particular fragrance, but I would agree with that imagery that this fragrance shows a lot of figgy aspects up top. Now that we got that immediate small layer of Santal Massoia out of the way, the figgy, fruity nuances, very transparent, almost watery tones, that is immediately backed by one of the 2 major factors in this scent, and that is the Massoia wood resin, which actually is a lactone that I don't have much experience with. I'll be honest with you guys, I didn't have too much experience with this. I was like, huh, what is this? All I know, first of all, is it is an expensive compound to utilize, and it is very much limited in fragrances as it's on the IFRA hit list. Massoia wood is from New Guinea, which smells like coconut, some green nuances, and an underlying peach fruity tone. Depending on the use of it, it also has a very dense butterscotch quality. So there you go, there you have it. The Massoia wood can be giving out these green nuances that I'm getting up top. It is getting that coconut. Fig does throw off a coconut type feeling to a fragrance. So it might be the Massoia doing all this. The peach fruity tones, of course, and of course that butterscotch quality, it's coming. It's going to be more into the heart of the fragrance. Now, it is a lactone. And if you don't know what a lactone is, it's in part a milky, creamy quality to a fragrance, and Massoia bark will give Santal Massoia that quality almost immediately. So you're going to have that fruity transparency, that greenness in this fragrance, but it immediately hits with some milky undertones, and that's very much close to what sandalwood would do. Some say there's no fig in this fragrance, that the Massoia is the reason why you get a heavy coconut vibe or a heavy green figgy vibe or a fruity vibe in this scent, which I can see. I can see that. So especially since it's not published in the official note breakdown, we don't really know, but it really has a great opening as a fragrance, very uplifting. It's something very interesting as a scent. I was like, oh, you know, I'm thinking light brown, dark brown, and it really has some watercolors like Elena likes to do. So the opening of Santal Massoia is figgy, fruity, somewhat green, some nuances of smooth coconut milk flowing through the background. This scent is a description of smooth up top. It has a very light color as a scent. If I had to give it a scent, very white, almost light brownish like the cap here, with a very, very faint green and purple hue up top. Now, once this scent is more established on your skin, the Massoia is in full effect and the other milkwood comes into play. The sandalwood is pairing with its woody cousin here. Some Elena signatures do pop through in this scent. Some claim ISO-E Super is ravaged in this fragrance. As I can see, there is a little bit of peppery nuances, again, very light. Some vetiver in this fragrance, again, very light. There's some light metallic accords in here too, which, as you guessed it, very light. It really, and Elena likes to play games with his fragrances. He likes to hide things. He likes sometimes when brands don't want certain things in their fragrances, he'll still put his signature in it and hide it very, very well. And obviously he has creative direction in Hermes essences of fragrances, so he didn't really have to worry about that. But it's very interesting to see all the layers in Santal Massoia. It's not just straight up milky sandalwood and that's all you're getting. This scent as a whole has a coolness factor to it, so that is something that really intrigued me with this fragrance. I really felt like this was going to be more built for fall, early fall, but it really has a good coolness factor that I can almost wear this every season. It's very white, milky, and it has buttery aspects to the fragrance. Now, more into the deeper dry down of Santal Massoia. This fragrance continues to be very transparent as a scent, but has an early depth to the fragrance, as a lot of Elena fragrances do. It really plays a game that it's very transparent. It has depth to the fragrance. You feel like it's going to have some thickness, but really overall, it just continues to be very smooth. And this is one of those fragrances that does that. In the deeper dry down, it will produce, of course, it has those milky tones to the fragrance, but it also has a caramel-like feel. It feels like a very light dulce de leche accord with a continued pinch of fruit. It has a light gourmand quality to the scent. It has a toasted-like quality, which is also sweetened just a tad. If this accord would be 2 to 3 times stronger in this scent, now we would be talking about this fragrance being a deep fall scent, a warming and comforting scent, as opposed to more of a spring, summer night scent, something that is very, has transparent tones to the fragrance. So it really is intriguing that how much the volume can be turned up and down on certain accords in certain fragrances can change your perception on where you would wear or how you would wear a fragrance like this. I would compare this accord to close to Jeu de Peau by Versatility. It almost has like a light brown type of feel. Or another Elena scent from L'Artisan Parfumeur, which is called Bois Farin, which has more of a peanut butter type of scent. But I would classify it in that kind of manner as far as gourmandish fragrances. But this one is much, and I mean much lighter than those two as far as gourmands go. Now, Santal Massoia brings out the most transparent woody scent that I've ever really encountered. A woody scent that I can wear in the summer, into the spring, As with everything Elena, he's a genius to even make woods a watercolor style, full of balance, depth, but at the same time minimalistic. Santal Massoia has a fairly linear quality but keeps the user entertained if you are paying attention. Sadly, this one is one that people spray on, see the transparent manner in this fragrance, and think it's boring or nothing special without really giving this one a chance. The one thing I could say, if there's only one thing that you can take out of this fragrance review, is give Santal Massoia a chance. Trust. Into my Revolver, where I talk about age, seasons, work appropriate, signature scent worthy, and all that good stuff. Let's start with recommended age. As far as this particular fragrance, if I had to give it an age group, I would have to say A, it's unisex. I think men and women can wear this. And I would have to say age group 25 and up just because of price point and interest. I really don't think anybody under 25 would be really interested in purchasing this fragrance or being very serious about this fragrance. I really think it has more of a mature air to the fragrance. Seasons. This one is great in the spring. I loved wearing this in the spring. Summer nights, as I noted earlier. I liked wearing it even in the summer day. A little bit of heat didn't really scare this one away. It's not big and bold, so you can wear it in the summer if you wish to do so. And the early fall. I think the early fall was really magical with this fragrance. I think it's more of an all-season fragrance. I think any season you can wear this one. You can wear this one in the office any season. I really think that this one's very versatile. Day or night, I feel like this one, as far as personality goes, I feel it's more of a good daily wear scent. Work appropriate, yes. All day, every day. Signature scent worthy, yes. Occasions. Daver from the Fragrance Bros said this is a beachside wedding scent, and I 100% agree. Just that opening, the milkiness, the classiness of this particular fragrance, and the Hermes Essence line, very classy as a whole. I really think that this could be it. It's signature scent worthy, daily workwear scent, easy to throw on for a weekend scent, going on a trip type of scent, casually dressed up. It'll work. It's a Swiss Army knife, this one. So as my final thoughts are for Santal Massoia is that I'm kind of upset that, I'm done the testing on this fragrance. Now that the fragrance review is on my channel, I got to move on to other Hermes Essence fragrances. I got, of course, 5 more to review on my channel, some of my favorites. But this one, honestly, was a slow love for me. Up top, I'll be honest, this was a fragrance that didn't really click with me in the introduction of me trying out the scent. A lot of this wearing is the past couple years. I think it clicked last year. Oh, no, 2 years ago at the start of fall when this fragrance truly shined. And that's really where the bulk of my testing started with Santal Massoia, is 2 years ago at the start of fall, where it clicked. And I'm like, geez, I really should start reviewing one of these Hermes Essence fragrances. And that's where the journey started with this one. It's a clean, dressed up, high-end scent. Linear at times, but it's so good that it leaves you wanting more performance and more depth. You're going to see that probably in the comments below, that a lot of people love this scent. They would like more of it when they first initially smelled it. They want more performance. They want to smell it more on their skin, or they want more depth to it. They want it much stronger. It reminds me of a beautiful camel-colored pea coat. Even though that imagery kind of thinks, this is a warming scent. No, it just really feels like that kind of coat. Very easy to wear during the early fall. And you can wear it with any suit. You can dress it up, dress it down. That pea coat is a standard for any menswear. So a camel-colored pea coat. Santal Massoia continues the theme of the Hermes Essence line as built on a true Elena style, not too thick, not too dense, but just artistic. And with time, you're going to fall in love with every single one of these. It evokes natural and high-end quality. A base noter mentioned that this is Philosykos meeting Tam Dao from, of course, Deep Tick. And you know what? That's pretty damn close. And those are two quality fragrances in our fragrance game. The one thing with this Hermes Essence lineup I felt was Elena from all 6 that I own and a few that I've tested already is that he stays consistent with his watercolor minimalistic style, and he brings it up a notch is how I felt. It really feels like he pinpoints one general idea and he goes to it and he makes it the best that he can do. So that's what makes me really appreciate this Hermes Essence line. Just piggybacking on what I said earlier, if you're looking for a beast of a scent and performance, if you're looking for something to scream on your skin, don't come here. Hermes Essence and Elena is more artistic than anything. This line is not to shout, more to whisper within the mist and bring people closer to the user. Hermes Essence is a line that is actually dubbed as poetry of perfumes. And that was, of course, a quote from Monsieur Elena himself. And I'll gladly sniff this poetry all day long, Monsieur Elena. Sheer genius. Positives to take away for Santal Massoia. Artistic, light, easy to wear, versatile. The use of Massoia is worth it alone just to see what this milky bark can do on your skin. It is very much known in the community as one of the premier fragrances that utilized of course, that lactone. So very, very interesting and something that you should sniff out. Negatives to take away on this particular fragrance. Of course, there's things that are given out in the community, that it's too light, too artistic, which doesn't really blow your mind as far as pricing goes. Not worth the price on what you're getting in this bottle. So those are key negatives to take away, especially if you're not a fanboy of Elena Hermes, just like me. You may be not holding this bottle like I am. So let's get into my rating system. Let's see how this one goes on a score of 1 to 10. So let's take a look at projection. She's low. For me, what it says online, it does what it does on my skin. I give it 3 bottles out of 10. It is fairly light as a projector. It never really threw itself out there. In the warm climate to, of course, the super cold Canadian climate, it never really worked as far as our projector goes. People will have to be close, but that makes it a great office scent because it won't easily offend. Longevity, another fairly low score, 5 bottles out of 10, 4 to 6 hours on my skin, so you're not going to get beast mode performance. It has some gas to it. There was some days that it went 6, 7, 8 hours, and I'm like, whoa, here we go. Here we go, Santal Massoia's got some gas, but unfortunately for most of the time, it was 4 to 6 hours, which is still good. This is not a 3 to 4 hour fragrance, but depending on who you watch as a fragrance reviewer, they may say 20 minutes and that's it. But 4 to 6 hours is still decent. It gets a 5 bottles out of 10. Compliment factor, 4 bottles out of 10. Again, fairly low. You're not wearing these, again, these type of fragrances, you're not wearing them to shout and get into people's faces. That is one thing that these Hermes essences, except for Narguilé, that one, and Vetiver Tonka, those two, depending. Vetiver Tonka gets some bad response too, but those two are the ones that really do project more, and they do get a lot of attention. This one, when it does get attention, it is fairly positive, but I'm going to give it 4 bottles out of 10. Uniqueness, this is 8 bottles out of 10, and I jump it up a little bit. Not that sandalwood's new to the game. It's not using, the best sandalwood in the game, but Massoia bark, or Massoia wood, the lactone is very, very unique in our fragrance game. It's getting used more and more now, but at the same time, this is one of the pinnacles of that one. Pricing versus what you get. I'm going to give it 6 bottles out of 10. I'm very artistic as a scent, but I can see as a general fragrance enthusiast, if they went to the Hermes Essence or the Hermes boutique and saw the whole Hermes Essence lineup, I don't know if this is going to be, the one that you would choose. I know that there's some people that love this stuff, and I agree with them, but I really think that more people are gravitating towards the Vetiver Tonkas and the Narguilé. Narguilé is always sold out. Always sold out. When I go to Hermes boutique, I had a hard time finding that one. Vetiver Tonka sometimes. So those are the two that are the mainstays. But this one is also a really, I hear, the people that like it, they love it. They get multiple bottles of this fragrance. And that goes to versatility. That's a strong point on this fragrance. 8 bottles out of 10. I really think the versatility is its strong point. You can almost wear this all the time. And that goes to smell. Very strong point of this fragrance. It is a 10 out of 10 as far as scent goes. As far as sandalwood based, as Massoia, of course, very unique. Very milky, transparent. It has some gourmand qualities, but they're not very much gourmand. They're so Elena style. Some people think there's ISO super. There is some vetiver in this fragrance, a little bit woody tones, of course, from the sandalwood and the Massoia, but very interesting fruity tones too. What a great scent. Everything blends together, works well together. It's very artistic. It's like a symphony. Very well done by a master. Overall, Santal Massoia on my channel gets a 8 out of 10, and that is a very, very solid 8, nearing a 9. I was very much like 9, 8. I really think that a lot of its downfalls, of course, performance-wise, those are things that I can ignore. I have a lot of fragrances, and I think a lot of people that are searching out this fragrance, they're not looking for high-end compliments and high-end longevity and projection. They're really looking for an artistic fragrance, a fragrance that will be one that will go with their personality. I really think this is one of those fragrances that will do that. So I think as far as score goes, 8 bottles out of 10, one of the better ones from the Hermes Essence lineup. And if I had to pick my top 5 from the brand, again, I haven't smelled any of these Christine Nigel ones yet. She released an oud one, a myrrh one, I believe. So there's a few that I haven't smelt, but if I had to do a top 5 that I've sniffed, this would be in the top 5 for sure. And that goes to buy, try, or pass. Again, with some of the downfalls and some of the great things about this fragrance, I would have to say try. Pricing are always a factor, especially when you're speaking in multiple of hundreds of dollars. You really need to try, get a sample of this fragrance. I don't think it's one of those that you must sniff, depending on your journey. But if you are in an Hermes boutique and they got all the Hermes essences, take the time. Really do take the time. If you can get samples from these Hermes people, sometimes they're kind of, they won't give them up. But this is a brand that you should be checking out, the Hermes Essence line, a very good high-end line. So I'd love to hear your take on Santal Massoia. If you have smelt this fragrance, good or bad, I'd love to hear it. And what is your favorite from the Hermes Essence lineup? Is it this one or is it something else? I'd love to hear, especially those newer ones. I need to get my nose on those ones. If you enjoyed this content, please hit the like button. Subscribe if you haven't. If you have subscribed, did you hit the bell yet? Are you part of my notification gang? If you ever check me out, I am on Twitter, I'm on Instagram, I'm on Facebook. You can search me up, Robes08, or the links are all down below. I also have a Facebook group called Fragrance Guru Nation, where 15,200 members talk about fragrances. So a lot of scent heads in my Facebook group, almost as much as my channel here. We're going for it. So go check that out. Join us today if you have a Facebook account, and I will accept your membership. Now I'm going to leave you with a few takes of all my social media. I asked everybody on social media what they thought about this fragrance. So at the back end of this video, you're going to see all those takes, good or bad. I will post them. And as always, a great or poor fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube.